The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I am Yasha Franklin Hodge, Chair of the Public Improvement Commission, and I call to order the hearing of November 6, 2025. Mr. Liming, please take the roll call.
Of course, with the representative from the Public Works Department, please state their name for the record.
Yasha Franklin Hodge.
Property Management Department, please do the same.
Joseph Callahan.
Transportation Department.
Amy Gordon.
Inspectional Services Department.
Brian Ronan.
Water and Sewer Commission.
Denise Devlin.
Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
Patricia Mendez.
Thank you. We have a full quorum.
Thank you very much, Todd. All right, well, we'll get right to it, starting with the hearing minutes. At the request of the Public Improvement Commission staff, the acceptance of the minutes of the PIC hearing, which was held on October 23rd, 2025. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of October 23rd, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to the next section of our agenda with utility pole hearing number 1 on a petition by Eversource Energy for a utility pole installation to install one new private utility pole within Colborne Road, Brighton, to be located on its westerly side at address number 36, generally north of Houston Road, excuse me. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and talk us through what you are proposing to do?
Okay, hello, this is Chanel Grant. Can you hear me?
We can.
Oh, good. Oh, okay. Okay, let me see. I need to share. Okay, 1 second, please. I'm actually looking for the share button. Did it was at the bottom? There it is. There it is. Okay, 1 second. Okay, it's close. Okay, there it is. Yeah, okay, sorry for the delay. Can you see it?
We can.
Okay. So, okay, my name is Chanel Grant from Eversource Energy, and Eversource is going to install one new pole, 146 over 10-A in the sidewalk outside of 36 Colborne Road in Brighton for permanent underground service for an 11-unit condo building. And that's what I have for this one.
All right. Commissioners, questions, comments?
It shows a driveway. I assume that's the existing driveway and not a driveway of the proposed development. So it'd be good to show the curb line and the driveways where they will be in the future.
I can speak to that. We noted that we have received a curb cut application for this project. That curb cut is being closed and a new one is being opened around the corner on Houston Street. And that curb cut application has been fully approved by the Commissioner of Public Works. So this plan that we're looking at is just showing the existing conditions.
Hi, this is Patricia from Disabilities Commission. Could you put some dimensions on the proposed new pole, please, especially if there's any pinch points? Thank you.
Could you repeat what you just said, please?
Yes, this is Patricia from the Disabilities Commission,
Okay.
and I'm asking you to provide dimensions on the drawings, especially if there's a pinch point.
The dimensions as far as the distance from the pole beside it?
Yes.
146 over 10, 30 feet. Are you, is this, you want to know if it's ADA compliant?
Correct. So
Yes, it is.
Clear dimension on the drawing, so I can see if it's like 4 feet, 5 feet. What
I have 30 feet.
I'm thinking it's going to be a horizontal dimension. So,
We need to know the dimension between the pole and the new building that is being constructed to confirm that there's sufficient width on the sidewalk to allow people to accessibly travel along the sidewalk.
Oh, okay. I don't have the distance. I just, I had a photo. I sent in a photo where it lined up with the other poles in the sidewalk. That's all I have.
for next time, for next submission, you
Okay.
can add those dimensions.
The distance, okay, from the sidewalk to the building. No, from the pole to the building.
Yes, clear
Okay.
distance from the pole to the building.
Okay, yes. Okay, I will note that for you.
Perfect, thank you.
The dimensions on the plan, okay.
Yes.
Dimensions on the plan, write that down.
And just in general, this is a thing we ask for every single time Eversource comes with a poll request, and it's a little silly that we have to ask for it every single time. This just needs to be a standard feature of any Eversource submission that involves putting something vertical in the sidewalk is the dimension so that we can confirm the accessibility requirements.
Okay, well, today I will send that to the supervisor of the survey
Okay.
department indicating what you need in the future.
That would be
permanently.
very much appreciated.
Okay. Yeah, I'm covering for Katie Flaherty today.
Understood.
Okay. Yeah, but I'll take it.
Patricia, are you comfortable proceeding with a vote without having that dimension available to you, given that and we can obviously make it a thing that we require on the final plans that are submitted to us, but I just want to make sure that if we move ahead with approving this, that you're okay with that, without having that information formally written down.
Yeah, I'm okay proceeding.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, and after the meeting, I can also send her the photo,
That would be great.
if that helps. Okay.
All right, hearing no other questions from commissioners, PIC staff, or members of the public?
I will take this opportunity to remind everybody, if you have questions or wish to add testimony, we ask that you please use the raised hand function, which can be found at the reactions tab at the bottom of your screen. If you are calling in, I believe you can dial *6 to unmute yourself to jump in at the same time. I do not see any raised hands at this time, so I think we're all set.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve utility pole hearing number 1?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Eversource Energy for a utility pole installation in Colburn Road as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
On right review by the Commissions for Persons with Disability for adequate accessible path.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. All right, thank you very much. On to our next item, utility pole hearing continued. Number 1, on a petition by NStar Electric Company, DBA Eversource Energy, for a grant of location to install an electric transformer vault and associated infrastructure within Whitby Street, Public Way, East Boston, located at address number 16, generally northwest of Ford Street. So it's new business on 8/14 and had public hearings on 8/28, 9/11, 9/25. Shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan of Transformer MH Manhole for PIC, 16 Whitby Street, East Boston, one sheet dated November 2025. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and let us know how you would like to proceed with this item.
Okay, so Chanel Grant again with Eversource Energy. And on this one, we would like to ask if the grant of location can be continued. Our lawyers are still working on it.
All right.
They're
Very
still
much.
working on the edits.
Understood. Yeah, and I believe, for the record, that this is being held because there is a significant backlog of a number of Eversource projects on agreements and paperwork, which we need to finalize before we advance more projects. So hopefully that will get resolved. With that, Commissioners, any comments or questions before we move to continue? Todd, anything to add?
No, our next hearing is on November 20th. I don't know if we want to go to that one or if we want to push out further to December.
Chanel, do you have an opinion?
November 20th should be fine.
All right. Do I hear a motion to continue public hearing continued number 1 to November 20th?
I'll make a motion to continue public hearing continued number 1 as read into the record by the chair to November 20th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. All right, hopefully we get that paperwork in. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, and I'll be working with Todd,
All right,
giving
excellent.
him as much information we can before November 20th.
Much appreciated.
Okay. All right, thank you.
On to public hearing continued number 2 on a set of petitions by 4200 Washington LLC for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in West Roxbury, consisting of curb realignment, roadway and sidewalk and pedestrian ramp reconstruction, as well as new and relocated specialty pavement, street lighting infrastructure, street trees, landscaping, bike racks, and driveway curb cuts. Washington Street at address numbers 4198 to 4200, southwest of Basile Street, Basile Street southeast of Washington Street, South Street generally across from Basile Street. This was new business on 9/25 and had a public hearing on 10/9. As shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repairs Plan 4200 Washington Street, Basile Street, Rosendale, 3 sheets dated October 8th, 2025, revised November 5th, 2025. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us a brief reintroduction to the project as well as updates since your last hearing?
Morning, Commissioners. Tim Hayes from Bowler Engineering. I'm joined today by Janae Hull from the owner applicant team. A few developments since the last time that we met with you all. We did do some additional survey in order to design the reciprocal ramps across Basile Street and across South Street, which is reflected on the plans now. We also sat down with both PIC staff and accessibility staff to kind of talk through some of the issues that were raised at the last hearing in regards to the clear widths behind the new proposed light pole on Basile Street, as well as the existing utility pole on Basile Street, of which we also got more survey back on that to understand exactly how that dimension will be reflected in the field. What we've come up with is a bit of a revised design in order to provide 5 feet behind the new proposed utility pole or light pole that's been requested by lighting. And then I believe we've gotten some consensus from accessibility that, we'll have an exception here for the 4.8 feet, given that this is an existing utility pole, and we can't really move that without significant cost to the project, working with Eversource. In addition to that, we also reworked the ramp here at the corner of Basile and Washington a little bit with staff to provide a little more of a little more room with a tighter radius to match what's happening across the street. That actually resulted, I think, in a better ramp layout here for that corner ramp. So other than that, I think everything else is consistent with what we've seen before. Obviously, the easements were approved in the last public hearing. And any comments or questions on the current design here?
Thank you very much. Commissioners, questions? Yeah, I see staff or members of the public.
I believe we are all set on this one.
All right, seeing no raised hands, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing continued number 2?
I'll make a motion to approve a set of petitions by 4200 Washington LLC for the making of specific repairs within Washington Street, Basile Street, and South Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much. And Dennis, thank you for correcting our Basile Street pronunciation in chat there. Much appreciated. All right, on to public hearing number 1 on a petition by West Boylston Investments LLC for the widening and relocation of the existing right-of-way lines of Hyde Park Avenue Public Way, Hyde Park, as well as for the acceptance of a highway easement located on its southeasterly side at address numbers 1690 to 1700, generally northeast of Milton Street, new business on October 23rd, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Widening and Relocation Plan, 1690 to 1700 Hyde Park Avenue, Hyde Park, one sheet dated September 5th, 2025. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, give us a very brief reintroduction to the project, and then update us on any changes related to this specific action since your new business hearing.
Sure. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the commission. My name is Joe Connolly, project engineer with Howard Stein Hudson. I'm presenting today on behalf of the proponent, West Boylston Investments LLC, and I am joined by project attorney Dennis Quilty. The project is located at 1690 to 1700 Hyde Park Avenue in Boston's Hyde Park neighborhood. The project involves the demolition of an existing building and accessory office trailer to be replaced by a 6-story mixed-use residential building containing 115 residential units and 1,500 square feet of ground floor commercial space. There will also be underground resident parking containing 69 spaces with access off of Hyde Park Avenue and 115 secure bike spaces for residents with additional outdoor ramps for visitors. As part of the project, we are seeking approval for specific repairs, a widening and relocation, and vertical discontinuance. So for the first of these 3, we're focusing on the widening and relocation area shown. So it extends the entire length of the project parcel and is approximately 8 feet wide. This will facilitate a minimum 5.5 foot clear width along the proposed sidewalk. This was updated since new business based on the new proposed sidewalk layout that you will see later. And just some more general background, there was a need for widening and relocation instead of pedestrian easement because of the proposed bike lane that encroaches onto the project parcel. But we've incorporated all of the city's comments in producing this final version. So with that, I will open it up to any comments or questions.
Commissioners. Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments? TIC staff or members of the public?
Looks like we have a raised hand by Craig Martin. Craig, please go ahead and jump in.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Thank you. I'm calling on behalf of Hyde Park Neighborhood Association. Just kind of found out about this hearing today, and quite frankly, a little bothered that we have not been informed at all. There's the Reedville Watch Neighborhood Association, the Hyde Park Neighborhood Association. It should have been informed about these changes. This is the busiest, most controversial spot in Hyde Park, right here at this location. Everybody uses it all day, every day. And we should be aware of what the changes are planned. It may be that we think it's hunky-dory, but we should at least be aware of what the changes are. And I feel like we kind of got blindsided today. And we're asking commissioners if we can just defer it until they can come before Reedville Watch monthly meeting or the Hyde Park Neighborhood Association monthly meeting and tell us what they're envisioning in front of our elected officials who are at these meetings every month. I would appreciate if you could respect that request, because we just think it's unfair that this is coming before the commissioners for a board today when we had no knowledge of any of these changes.
Could the proponents maybe speak? Thank you, Craig. Could I just ask if the proponents could maybe speak to the public process here, because this relates to a development project that I believe has been undergoing Article 80 review for some time. So could you just speak to what engagement has happened there?
If I may, Mr. Chairman, excuse me, Dennis Quilty. I'm a project attorney. Good morning, other commissioners, Mr. Lyman. We had a lengthy and detailed public process in this matter, including multiple meetings with the Hyde Park Neighborhood Association, at which the speaker attended every meeting. Also with the Reedville Watch Neighborhood Association. We met with and discussed the project with State Senator Rush, State Representative Consalvo, District City Councilor Pepin. We had a Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services abutters meeting. We had a follow-up to the Hyde Park Neighborhood Association meeting requesting a site visit, which we conducted with the members of the Hyde Park Neighborhood Association. This project has been fully vetted, approved by the BPDA, approved by zoning. It has literally gone through every possible review one could imagine. And of course, we leave the details and particulars of such matters as the widening and relocation to the PIC, which is why we're before you today. But this project has been completely and fully vetted in the process, and the speaker was in attendance at multiple meetings that we held on this matter.
And if I also may speak, Michael.
Mr. Commissioner, may I interject?
Yes. Yeah, I think there was another member of the project team that wanted to speak briefly, but please go ahead, Michael, and then Craig, happy to come back to you for a response.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to comment also, Dennis Smith. We also had 3 meetings with the direct abutters, along with the state representative, and we accommodated every single abutter's wish in this project, including building walls that are quality of the Mass Highway for sound, including putting a clause in the lease regarding our neighbors' businesses. And we had that meeting 3 times, and they have also, our direct abutter has also approved this. And to Dennis's point, Craig has been at every single one of these meetings. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. Craig, do you want to respond to that?
I don't know. We were never discussing the fairness of the lack of meetings in general on this project. Oh, I get it, though. It's been thoroughly vetted. I'm just saying, but it was always dismissed that there's going to be changes to the roadway and what have you, and we accepted that. But when the changes came, we wanted to know this is the busiest, most controversial, complicated approach to the intersection in Hyde Park, probably close to the city. And we'd like to get the details of the road and sidewalk and what have you changes. We totally vetted the building in the parcel. I never said we didn't. It's just the specifics that we thought when they got the specifics done, they could bring it before the neighborhood association. Like I said, we might be all about it, but we'd just like to at least know what it is. We don't know. As I'm listening today, I still don't know what the changes are.
So the way these hearings work, at the new business hearing 2 weeks ago, we reviewed the total package of street changes, but just for technical reasons, the PIC has specific actions. So what's up on the screen is the first of a series of actions. We will get shortly to specific repairs, which is where the sort of changes to the design of the street would be shown. So that is it's a separate hearing item for today for us. I guess with that said, though, I was reviewing some of the material that was shared publicly as part of the Article 80 review process. And I do see that the transportation aspects of this changes to the street layout were all discussed as part of that Article 80 process and were shared in the presentations that were made publicly. In the PIC process, there are sometimes small refinements that get made to specific dimensions of, a foot here or moving a street light from here to there. But what I'm seeing, looking at the material that was shared within the Article 80 process, is that the core changes of the street, of the sidewalk, the bike lane, the street itself, the parking, were all sort of part of that Article 80 review process.
Indeed, they were.
Not specifically, and I'll leave it at that. It's been unfair, and I'll just leave that on record. Unfair. We're asking for a simple attendance to show us exactly where the bike lane, where the people are, where the dog lane, whatever else is. We did not get that during the public process, Article 80, but we knew it would be coming. And so we will just say it's patently unfair that when we don't get to know this before the vote. And I appreciate your time again this morning.
All right. Thank you for that perspective. I think, what I'll say from the commission's perspective is typically we defer to our Office of Neighborhood Services in their review of the public process that accompanies actions that come before the PIC. And I obviously am not involved, and the commission is not directly involved in the Article 80 review process. And so I can't speak with authority about what was said in which meetings as it relates to, the specifics of streetscape changes. I do see that much of the information was presented in some fashion, but I think we will, my recommendation to the commission is that we do defer to ONS in this matter. And my understanding, and Todd, please confirm, is that ONS has signed off on and provided support for this final stage of approvals advancing at the Public Improvement Commission. Is that accurate, Todd?
Yes, we do have an email from Zoe Petty, who is the local representative for ONS, and she's confirmed that her office is satisfied with the community outreach for this project.
Okay. So, Craig, I note your concern, and certainly if there's things we can do in the future to do a better job of making sure that neighborhood associations are aware of Public Improvement Commission hearings that may have relevance, we're happy to talk about how to make sure that we're making sure that everyone who has an interest in a PIC action has the opportunity to know upfront at the new business hearing. But I think in this case, my recommendation to the commission is that we proceed given the support that we've heard from some of the other agencies that have been working on this process.
Mr. Chairman, would you like any further information from the applicant as to what we discussed and went through?
I would absolutely, please feel free to add that for the record.
I just would like to say that in all of our meetings, the property in its entirety was discussed in every way. Bike lanes, street changes, movement of elements to satisfy abutters. These things were fully discussed at every level. And what, as you know, has occurred as well is that we have been to you for new business. We had some interaction with other city agencies that we've been working on for the last 10 days. And as you know, minor changes develop from time to time. And as I suggested earlier, obviously we as the applicants leave it to the professionals, agencies who we had to notify to tell us what they'd like us to change, which we've done. And we present that to you. And this is a very normal process, as you are certainly aware. But these matters of the exterior and street use were fully discussed and vetted at multiple meetings with multiple parties all the way through the process. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you for adding that perspective for the record. Much appreciated. So, and I think if you can, just for our benefit and for the commission's records, just provide us a written summary of the community outreach that occurred associated with this project, that would be appreciated.
We'll be happy to do that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Any comments, additional comments or questions, PIC staff or members of the public?
I have no outstanding concerns with this action, and I do not see any more raised hands. So I think we're all set on the widening and relocation.
All right. Do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 1?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by West Boylston Investments LLC for widening relocation in Hyde Park Ave as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing number 2 on a petition by West Boylston Investments LLC for the vertical discontinuance of a portion of Hyde Park Avenue, public way, Hyde Park, located on the southeasterly side at address numbers 1690 to 1700, generally northeast of Milton Street, vertically above the grade of the sidewalk. New business on 1023 is shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Vertical Discontinuance Plan, 1690 to 1700 Hyde Park Avenue, Hyde Park, one sheet dated October 1st, 2025. Would the proponents please reintroduce themselves and their affiliations and give us an update on any changes to this action since your new business here?
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Commissioner and members of the Commission. My name is Joe Connolly, project engineer with Howard Stein Hudson. I am presenting today on behalf of the proponent, West Boylston Investments LLC, and I am joined by project attorney Dennis Quilty. The second of our petitions is for a vertical discontinuance of approximately 316 square feet above the street sidewalk. The building's second through sixth floors project 4 feet over the street sidewalk from elevations 80.96 to 138.96 Boston City base, with a minimum separation of 12 feet from the sidewalk grade. So this projection hasn't changed at all. Just the discontinuance area itself has been expanded to match the new widening area that was just shown. So all city comments have been incorporated into this final version. I don't think there's too much else to explain. So with that, I'll open it up to any comments. Thank you.
Commissioners, questions, comments? DIC staff or members of the public?
I am not seeing any raised hands at this time.
All right, Todd, any comments you'd like to add?
The one thing I will mention is I have had a conversation with the project team about the discontinuance fee that we typically would charge. It's my understanding that they are interested in requesting that that fee be waived, considering that this building element is projecting only over the area of right-of-way, which was just approved a minute ago on the previous action. Project team, would you please speak to that?
Do you have any thoughts, Dennis?
I was unaware until this moment, so I don't really.
I think the only time that was mentioned was by you, Todd. I don't think the project team has actually discussed.
We certainly, if the commission would see it clear to consider waiving that fee, given the limited nature of this discontinuance and the overall, the positive changes we've made to move the project forward, we certainly appreciate that.
Todd, is the fee waiver a thing that has to be voted on by the commission, or is that something that we can sort out administratively after the action is taken?
I believe that is at the discretion of the PIC chair. We probably don't need to decide that right now on the record, but it could be determined before.
I think it is a very reasonable request, given that we are discontinuing something that was not ours an hour ago. So I am happy to have that conversation. We can discuss it offline of the meeting, but happy to make space for that. And I think it seems like a very reasonable ask of the commission.
So I would add, can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can.
So I'm Mitch Fishman. I'm the permitting manager for the project. And I guess the only thing I would add, in addition, Mr. Chairman, as you indicated, it was formerly land that we provided to widen the sidewalk. And the other part of it was that we widened the drop-off, or we created a drop-off area at the request of the neighbor, which again was one of the factors that allowed us to widen the sidewalk while leaving a portion of the building in this condition.
Understood, and yeah, appreciate how the need for this discontinuance is tied to some of those other project elements that were, beneficial to the city and to the public realm. So I don't think that will be an issue. We'll just want to discuss the finer points offline of the hearing. So happy to have that conversation. All right, with that, any further questions or comments on the discontinuance? Going once. All right, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 2?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by West Boylston Investments LLC for a vertical discontinuance in Hyde Park Ave as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing number 3 on a petition by West Boylston Investments LLC for the making of specific repairs within Hyde Park Avenue Public Way, Hyde Park, located on its southeasterly side at address numbers 1690 to 1700, generally northeast of Milton Street, consisting of curb realignment, roadway and sidewalk reconstruction with structural soil, as well as new and relocated specialty pavement, street lighting infrastructure, storm drain infrastructure, hydrants, street trees, bike racks, driveway curb cuts, and bicycle facilities. This was new business on October 23rd, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repair Plan, 1690 to 1700 Hyde Park Avenue, Hyde Park, 3 sheets dated September 4th, 2025. Would the proponents please reintroduce themselves, their affiliations, and walk us through any changes to these plans since your new business here?
Sure. Good morning, Mr. Commissioner and members of the Commission. My name is Joe Connolly, project engineer with Howard Stein Hudson. I am presenting today on behalf of the proponent, West Boylston Investments LLC, and I am joined by project attorney Dennis Colty. So the final petition is for the specific repairs shown. The proposed work within Hyde Park Avenue includes 1 driveway curb cut closure, 1 driveway curb cut modification, streetlight and streetlight infrastructure installation that was coordinated with and approved by the Public Works Street Lighting Division, sidewalk reconstruction, and the installation of permeable pavers, visitor bike racks, and street trees within the furnishing zone. In addition to the 2 street trees now proposed, we are creating the pocket park contained on site. The planters shown up against the widening area have been reduced slightly based on comments from the Disabilities Commission. So that is one of the comments addressed since our new business hearing. We also met with the planning department to discuss project updates since our Article 80 approval and incorporated all major comments into the plan shown. So the most significant changes include pulling back the planters to provide 5.5 feet minimum clear width to create a straight and continuous public path of travel across the project frontage. We've also adjusted the street lighting infrastructure layout to remove 1 street light and relocate the proposed control cabinet to remove it from the location here that had created a pinch point that was concerning most. We have also labeled and expanded our limits of structural soil on both sides of the sidewalk where the proposed street trees are located, based on comments from the planning department. We've also pulled back the permeable pavers adjacent to the 7202 Hyde Park Ave parcel and removed the furthest right bike rack that was creating an awkward interim condition between our proposed sidewalk and the adjacent existing. We've also received additional minor comments yesterday that we plan to incorporate into our plans and details prior to submitting any Mylar copies if approved. So with that, I will open it up to any comments or questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and appreciate the work to address some of the issues that were brought up by this commission during the new business hearing. Commissioners, questions, comments?
You have a street lighting control box that's really tucked, it's hard to see on this, tucked in at the end of the bike racks. And we should make sure that these are positioned such that you can put a bike on the rack?
Understood. We'll make sure that it's not too close.
Yeah, you can
based
just
on-
slide them down a little bit, right? I think it'll be, all right, there's enough room there, but that looks close.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we'll make sure that that's adjusted prior to submitting Mylars.
Commissioners, other questions, comments?
Yes, I don't have any comments on the sidewalk. I just want to know that the park and the stair, just make sure that next to the stairs, all of those levels are accessible. You don't have any like awkward in-between landing. I'm looking at the stair on the right of the park, and next to it, there is some steps that I'm not sure that they're all accessible. Sounds like the middle step may not be. So please make sure that everything is accessible in the park. Thank you.
Sure. So we have a flush condition in the middle of the pocket park shown here. The dash line is the building below. I apologize if that was confusing.
No, that's not confusing. I'm talking about the stairs on the right side of the page. Okay,
Yep.
right there you have your cursor. So next to it, it looks like there's, to the left of there, it looks like two benches, and behind the two benches, it looks like there's like like a landing, like in between level. It's not labeled, but I just want to make sure that it's not an inaccessible level. Make sure that those are connected so everybody can walk around there or sit. So just make sure that you are designing a space where everybody, including people with disabilities, can use.
Yep, understood. The landscape architect has definitely made a point of making all of these areas within the pocket park accessible as can be.
Okay, thank you.
But I will confirm this piece.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep.
All right, thank you very much. Any additional comments, questions from members of the commission? Yeah, I see staff and I see Craig has his hand up. So Todd, do you want to start there?
Yes, Craig, go right ahead.
Oh, thank you. Thank you again. Just be real quick. During the Article 80 meetings, it was brought up what their intention was with the, I won't say historic, but indeed, at least in Hyde Park, they feel historic, the cobblestone walls that have been treasured for generations here. And they said they were going to try and find a way to incorporate those cobblestone walls, which are right now we are planning to change for the sidewalk. Can I ask if they found a way to incorporate those walls? Are we just going to destruct them and and render them useless for anybody's purpose? I appreciate if they came up with an idea, if they could tell us. Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah. If I may, is Mike still with me? I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, may I respond briefly?
Yes, please go right ahead.
These are Depression era public, oh my God, I'm going to forget my my initials, but one of the many federal programs back.
WPA, yep.
Yeah, exactly. And we have looked into preserving as best we can. They're kind of from the 1930s, I believe, Craig, and we're thereabouts, yeah. Yeah, so we're very aware of it. I know we've looked into it. I don't know, Mike, whether you have any updates, but we certainly don't intend to destroy these elements. They may have to be relocated, moved, or made a part of our general project, but they will not be destroyed.
Yeah, that's true that Dennis said. We've talked to the Historical Commission about incorporating them into the sidewall there that separates the properties from our neighbor, to looking at this plan here to the right, which would be to the, I guess, the south. But yes, we are going to preserve it in some form with a plaque that says it was a WPA wall.
Okay.
As we mentioned at all the community meetings.
Okay.
Can I ask, are those walls currently located within the public way, or are those part of the property, the private property here?
They seem to be right along the property line. We only have a small portion of the wall. The majority of it is at our neighbor to the right, but it seems to be, from our survey, that it's on the property line. But we are committed to saving it and incorporating somehow either in the pocket park or along our neighbors.
If I could add to that, Mitch Fishman, permitting consultant for 1690. There is, I just checked it, a stipulation, Craig, in the BPDA board memo approval under mitigation that says exactly what Mike Sheehan has indicated, that we'll try to incorporate it within the landscape design, and there's other words that describe it a little bit further.
Okay. That's better than nothing. I appreciate you explaining that it is stipulated.
Yeah.
So we'll follow up with that. We'll definitely follow up on that in the neighborhood, because we do treasure those walls, and nice to see them preserved.
Yep, we do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Craig, for raising that, and appreciate the project team reiterating that commitment that was part of the board approval memo. Our purview as a commission is confined typically to the public right-of-way, which we've just widened slightly and maybe to include some of these walls, but ultimately I think we defer to the agreements that were established during the planning process for Article 80 to govern elements like this and preservation of historic elements. But I appreciate the project team speaking to that commitment that was made, and hope to see those fulfilled for the benefit of the neighborhood and historic preservation. All right, AC staff or any other public comment?
I'll just mention that there are a few notations that are going to be added to the specific repair plan before they submit Mylars. There are a few flex posts adjacent to the bike lane at the parking area and a couple other spots, but we will coordinate that with the project team.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, with that, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 3?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by West Boylston Investments LLC for the making of specific repairs within Hyde Park Ave as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioners, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Thank you. Great. Moving on to public hearing number 4 on a petition by Verizon New England Incorporated for grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication infrastructure with city shadow conduit within the following public ways in Roxbury: Heath Street between address numbers 219 and 221, and Lawn Street northeast of Heath Street. This was new business on October 23rd, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan, Verizon 219 Heath Street. Proposed conduit installation, 2 sheets dated October 2025. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us any updates since your new business hearing?
Yes, good morning, Commission. Ross Bilodeau representing Verizon New England. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to once again present the plan. Okay, like you just said, Verizon is proposing 570 feet of 1 4-inch Schedule 40 PVC duct with a city shadow from an existing manhole 605A located on Lawn Street, up around the corner, up Heath Street. Can I get to my... There it is. Sorry about that. Up to a future shared handhole placed by Crown Castle, again, to provide fiber services along Heath Street. I have no updates. I don't believe there were any specific questions or concerns at the new business hearing on the 23rd.
All right, commissioners, questions, comments?
Oh, hi, Ross. This is Denise Devon from the Boston Water and Sewer Commission. We'll be doing work on Heath Street sometime next year. I was just trying to get an idea on when you think you'll be out in construction with this project.
I don't have a specific start date or a timeline for this one, unfortunately. I can ask them to coordinate with you.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, very good.
All right, thanks, Ross.
Thank you.
All right, KC staff or members of the public?
All set.
Do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 4?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Verizon New England Inc. for a grant of location in Heath Street and Lawn Street as read into record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing number 5 on a petition by Verizon New England Incorporated for a grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication infrastructure with city shadow conduit within Highland Street, Public Way, Roxbury, located generally between address numbers 273 and Center Street, new business on October 23rd. Shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan, Verizon 273 Highland Street. Proposed conduit installation, 2 sheets dated October 2025. The proponents please reintroduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us an update along with any changes since your new business hearing.
Yes, good morning, Ross Billady representing Verizon New England. Again, Verizon is proposing 343 feet of a single 4-inch Schedule 40 PVC from our existing manhole 15 over 41B on Highland Street, extending to the private property at 273. I do have some updates to this drawing. Per your request, we showed the speed humps with a note that is directing Verizon to fully mill, reconstruct, and repaint each one. So there's one on this sheet here. Connecting to the next sheet, there is a second speed hump in this dig. So we again will be fully milling, reconstructing, and repainting that speed hump. You can see our conduit coming in and entering the private property at 273 Highland. We also recognize that this section of the project is, adjacent to the town, one of the town DPW garages, so we're working with them. I, again, don't have an exact timeline for when they want to start this project, but I will make sure that they, coordinate with the DPW to avoid, plates in the roadway during a snowstorm, et cetera, so.
Thank you, Ross. Appreciate the responsiveness on both the speed hump and the public works coordination issue. And if anyone needs assistance with the public works points of contact, just feel free to reach out to me. We can make sure we get you the right folks, but appreciate that.
Sure, thank you.
Commissioners, questions, comments? PIC staff or members of the public?
All set.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 5?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Verizon New England for a grant of location in Highland Street as read into record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstained? So moved. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the new business section of our hearing, starting with new business 1, 8 Old Road, 14 to 16 Ellington Street, Michigan Avenue, Dorchester, pedestrian easement, specific repairs, projection license, and a set of petitions by Harvard Street Support Corp. This is, I believe, their second appearance for this project on the new business. So if the proponents could please introduce themselves, their affiliations, give us a brief reintroduction to the project, and let us know about why you are back here for new business again.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is David Vallecillos, and I'm with Harvard Street Neighborhood Health Center. I'm actually representing them. I am a member of the Community Builders, and we're acting on their behalf as the owner. what you're seeing today is the 3 parcels that Harvard Street has ownership of, and we'll be discussing in more detail their new health center located at the intersection of Ellington and All Road. We were here 2 weeks ago, and this is actually a process that we have been involved working collectively with the city for about a year and a half, having several meetings with PTD, Disabilities Commission about how we can better design the public realm. As of last week, it got brought up to us that the intersection of Ellington and All Road can be better designed for the pedestrian experience, which we agreed by doing an elevated or raised intersection. Right, that's the view exactly of the intersection, and at little or equal cost. We explored in the last 2 weeks with the general contractor, and it is an increasing cost, but not a significant one. So, as in compared to the scope of the project, we agree with you all that it will be better for the neighborhood and the patients. And so we're happy to be showing that today. We also, during the process of a year and a half or so, we have explored different curb uses, because we understand that it's tight for the uses that there are, but we feel that there are some small changes that this will bring that you will see today. But I feel like in that area we can do little, given the multiple trade-offs that we have at hand and the importance for the health center. We are hoping to break ground on this project in Q1 of next year. So this is becoming kind of like a critical path item for us, and we'll appreciate your consideration for fully approval at the next meeting. But with that, I will let our team show you what we have today, and I hope that that satisfied the comments that we received from you all last week, 2 weeks ago. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. I'm Frank Holmes with Langen Engineering. I'm a civil engineer and project manager for the project here at Langen. What we're looking at here is the original version of the specific repair plan. And, we understand, or I understand that at the first new business hearing, there was some concerns and comments, and we, have taken those and made some revisions to the plans that I'd like to walk through. And I think it's our goal here is to maybe leave the meeting here with, understanding of where we have addressed the comments so that we can finalize these plans and submit them to discuss at the public hearing in a couple of weeks. So this is the revised plan. And I want to point out a few specific things that we've done here. So firstly, we have looked at providing a raised intersection at Old Road in Ellington. I do want to note that there would be a ramp, up to the raised intersection as you're traveling north on Old Road, and then a ramp down to the Old Road elevation. And if you're on Ellington Street, heading west, you would ramp up to the raised intersection. However, given some, constraints with first floor elevation at this door, we don't show a ramp down. So the intersection would actually be flush with Ellington as you're heading west. And that's to avoid having to lower the grade of the road, which there could be complications there with reducing cover over utilities, et cetera. And we feel that that is okay because Ellington is a one-way street. So we have the ramp on the approach where we really want to be slowing people down. But then if they were to continue in a flush condition, we think that we're accomplishing the intent of the raised intersection with traffic calming. Another element or revision that we made to the plan here is increasing the length of the bus stop. What we were previously providing was 80 feet, which is within MBTA's recommended range, but it was on the lower end. And so what we've done here is increased the length of the bus stop to 100 feet. And that is at the higher end of MBTA's recommended range for this kind of bus stop. The next thing we did was provide a 5-foot striped out area between the end of the bus stop and the drop-off pickup that we have for the front door of the new building. And that was to address some concerns that we heard of, whether cars in the drop-off pickup would maybe be, into the bus stop and taking away some space from the bus stop. So we're doing what we can with providing that 5-foot striped out area as a visual indicator to drivers that, they shouldn't be there. But we also think that with the increase in the length of the bus stop to 100 feet, that also is, helping to mitigate, that concern as well. And then lastly, the last significant change we made here was some adjustments to the bike lane, on both the approach to the intersection and the bike lane as it's crossing through the intersection. So we did make the transition as a bicyclist would be heading north on Old Road. We did make that a little less abrupt going through the intersection by adjusting the alignment of the bike lane as it's approaching the raised intersection. And we also have provided, green paint markings both on the approach and through the intersection to make that more visible for motorists as they're approaching the intersection, and for bicyclists, right, to make it more noticeable for them as well. So those are the changes that we made to the plan, and I'm hoping that we addressed the comments and concerns that we heard 2 weeks ago.
And this is David again, just to, there was another comment about the whether we have checked the plans with the MBTA. We have verbally and shown it on multiple meetings. We don't have written confirmation, but we have had several meetings with them. Of course, if we are to make these changes, we have to run this again by them, but we're feeling that because of the approach that we're taking, that they will still be comfortable with this. But we will confirm that after we know that you're all okay with this. So with that, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and really appreciate the responsiveness here to the issues that were raised. Commissioners, questions, comments?
On the other raised intersection side, you have ramping up and down on 3 sides of it and not on the others with Ellington.
I don't know if it's just me. I'm not hearing any.
I was able to hear her.
Yeah, I think it's you, Frank. Amy, can you repeat? Can you hear me, Frank, or is it just with Amy? Let me text Frank on the side. What was your question, Amy? Maybe I'm hoping to, maybe I can answer.
So on the next sheet.
Oh, then maybe Frank can hear you. I don't know.
Right. This one.
Oh, you're the one managing the,
Okay, well, this sheet looks different than the sheet that I'm looking at. So
this is the previous, hi Amy, Maximo here, and I work with Frank as well. This is the previous sheet. This is the sheet that you're looking for. Yep.
So we ramp up, we ramp down. What happens on the other side of Ellington?
So it's basically
where.
Go ahead, Frank.
Sorry. Yeah, this is what I was describing earlier. Where this would be a flush condition as a car continues west on Ellington. And the reason that we don't ramp down is because we would need to actually lower the grade of Ellington in that location. And, we would have some concerns there potentially with reducing cover over utilities that are there. But Ellington is also a one-way. Right, so we have the ramp up to the raised intersection, and there's a stop sign, right, at that intersection. So, cars should be have slowed down significantly. Should have stopped approaching the raised intersection. So as they're exiting the intersection and heading west on Ellington, we felt that having that be a flush condition is acceptable. Against balancing several things here, in trying to avoid lowering the grade in Ellington Street.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I'm just trying to understand how this all works with grading and drainage, that we come out flush on one side after raising the other three sides.
So we're working through the grading now, right? We may need to add a catch basin on Ellington. Grades are generally heading west to east, down Ellington. And there's also a high point on the intersection with Old Road in Ellington where runoff is to the south down Old Road. So there'd be a high point right around at the ramp up to the raised intersection. So we would not need to add any drainage structures there. And similarly, on the north side of the intersection, drainage and grades are heading north on Old Road, so no additional drainage structures are necessary there. So we might need to add one catch basin. We're looking at that now, and that would be, part of what we're doing as we're finalizing the plans.
Yep, I think that's kind of my question, is that either something's flush and we're sheeting water somewhere we don't want to, or it seems like we need at least a structure, right, for drainage. So I think it's more, if we could have the basic grading plans along with, right, whatever drainage you might be adding, just to understand where water's gonna end up.
Yep, we'll forward those along, after the meeting. Yeah, we'll forward those along. We're just continuing to put those together.
All right, Patricia?
Hey Frank, this is Patricia. It's great that you are achieving the table intersection. I have a quick question on the tactile warning strip on the top right of the intersection. Is that a flush condition?
Yeah, this would all be flush.
Okay, and then can you put the curb, the tactile warning strip right, just like you have it on the opposite side? Yeah, just like that one, but
just fill that in?
Yes, if that's flush condition, then it needs a curb, the tactile warning strip, just like you did in the other side.
I mean, we were keeping the detectable warnings within the limits of the crosswalks. But if that's what is desired by the city, we could extend the detectable warnings like you're saying. But we thought it might be best to keep the detectable warnings within the limits of the crosswalks.
Okay, so the preferred configuration is to have it continuous. So you have it on the crosswalk, and then you have it in the corner, and then you have it in the crosswalk again.
Okay, understood. So we will continue that.
Can we do a treatment similar to what we see on the lower left part of the intersection where the crosswalk lines are sort of extended in such a way that the curved corner is encapsulated entirely within the crosswalk markings?
So maybe do something like that with the
Widen the crosswalk.
Right.
Just widen them, okay?
Yeah, widen the one on the right, the flush side, so that, and you can even widen the one coming up on Oldsfield Road so that you can get where they intersect and, kind of out in the street like you have on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's just, I think just let's confirm between now and the public hearing that we have a design that meets all ADA requirements and achieves the goal that Patricia just outlined. And hopefully that is something that we can just sort out the details of. But I think more of that pedestrian space is better.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The table intersection, it's great. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, commissioners, other questions, comments? PIC staff or members of the public?
I think we're all set on this. I would just ask that the project mention, at least briefly, the pedestrian easements and canopy license.
Sure. So this sheet is showing the two pedestrian easements that are needed. The first one is along Ellington, and it's a total of about 144 square feet. I'll zoom in here. It's generally, a little over a foot wide along the right-of-way, except at the intersection here where it's triangular in shape. But again, about 144 square feet in total. And then on Michigan Avenue, this one is really more just a straight shot without that sort of triangular shape. And it's about 2 feet wide in general, and it totals 142 square feet, plus or minus. And then we also have a canopy projection here. So this is on Old Road, at the corner of Ellington and Old Road. And this is trapezoidal in shape. It's about 3/4 of a foot into the right of way on the north side, about 3.3 feet on the south side, and the total length of that is about 33.5 feet. And so that's a total of 67 square feet for the canopy projection. And and there's also 11 feet clear from the sidewalk to the bottom of that canopy. And if we go back to the rendering here, this is that canopy projection at the intersection, over the front door.
Great. And then one follow-up from your original presentation 2 weeks ago. These plans still appear to show what may be, I'm not sure exactly what it is, might be a landscaped area or something like that on Michigan Avenue that's leaving 4.5 feet clear behind a street light. We would just ask that you take a look at that and modify this design to ensure that at least 5 feet clear, or whatever is determined to be appropriate by disabilities, is available there.
Understood. And we're going to make that change firstly, we're going to measure to confirm, the dimension that we have exactly from that utility pole. And then if needed, there's a planter there that is the constraint between the utility pole. And if needed, we'll pull that planter wall back to provide a minimum of 5 feet. We're assuming, if we could confirm that 5 feet is what the minimum should be.
Patricia, I'll look to you.
Yeah. Yes, 5 feet.
Yeah.
Clear would be great.
So we will make that change as well. We were planning on doing that too. And Todd, we know there were some other just minor, comments to the plans that we will be making as well. But we wanted to talk about the major elements, which I think we've covered.
Yep, definitely. Great. Thank you, Frank. That's fantastic.
All right. Hearing and seeing no other comments, will you be ready for your public hearing in 2 weeks on November 20th?
We will be. Yes.
Wonderful. All right. We'll see you back here then. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, on to our next item, new business 2, Major Michael J. O'Connor Way, General Lawrence J. Logan Way, South Boston, grant of location on a petition by Verizon New England Incorporated. Would the petitioner please reintroduce themselves and let us know what you're proposing to do here?
Sure. Once again, Ross Billadu representing Verizon New England. Let me get my screen to work again. Sorry about that. Okay, this is a multi-phase project. This is just a continuation of the Mary Ellen McCormick project. So again, another phase from something that's already proposed to be built. Verizon is going to be connecting a lot of pipes out here to a lot of different developments, buildings. they're a joint trench with Comcast and Astound. So I'll go over some of this stuff here. From a future manhole 33 over 118B, the joint trench, to a future building off Logan Way. A stub for future use down O'Connor Way. Onto the next sheet. To a proposed manhole, which is a part of this petition. Coming north out of that to a future stub for future use. Future stub for future use, and another future stub for future use. Again, all these markings on here are to be joint trench with Verizon, Comcast, and Astound.
Thank you very much. And I know I said this when you came through with the first part of this project, but very much appreciate the coordination amongst the utilities here and only digging up our street once and in one place. It is delightful to see, so appreciate that. Commissioners, questions, comments? Patricia?
Hi, this is Patricia. Thank you for your presentation. The thing that I would like to ask is please submit a form to our commission regarding the relocation of any on-street accessible parking, please.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
All right, PIC staff, members of the public?
I'll just ask that we get Astound and Comcast either to submit either a signed countersign the petition before your public hearing, or have them appear at your public hearing.
Yep, good point, Todd. I meant to mention that as well. As of late yesterday afternoon, we haven't heard back with their letters or whatnot, but they were working on them. I know the representative from Astound was probably out of office until sometime next week, but we should have that by next time.
Great, thank you.
All right, will you be ready for your public hearing in 2 weeks on November 20th?
Yes, I will be there.
All right, excellent. Thanks so much. We'll see you then.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too. All right, and on now to our final item, new business 3. It's 1517 Wichita Terrace, Dorchester, pedestrian easement, specific repairs on a set of petitions by 1517 Wichita Terrace LLC. The proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and let us know what you are proposing to do.
Hi everyone, my name is Tim Longden, one of the owners of 17 Wichita Terrace, along with Teddy Hearn, who's also on this call. Just gonna share this. All right, so just to give you a little background as to why we're here today. We purchased 17 Wichita Terrace, 15-17 Wichita Terrace. In May of 2024, we filed an application for 7 residential units. We went through ISD, the ZBA process, then back to the BPDA after we approved by the ZBA, came up with a design, went back to ISD. We were ready to pull the permit, but then we were told that the fire department would not approve it because the street is not wide enough for fire truck access. So we went on to learn that years ago there was a 2-family at 15 Wichita Terrace that actually burned to the ground. And one of the reasons that it burned all the way to the ground was because the fire trucks could not have access to the building. The Wichita Terrace is not wide enough for fire truck access. So we worked with the Fire Marshal, Colin Kelly, to come up with the design that we have in front of you today. we've actually, so the Fire Marshal, Colin Kelly, they approved and they support the project. This is actually a quote from the Fire Marshal, that the proposal significantly improves fire department access to this narrow dead-end street and would make life for the fire department operationally easier. So what we're proposing to do is to repair the existing sidewalk. We'll change all the curbing, so the curbing is rounded, so fire truck tires could fit up on the curbs in case of an emergency. So we're also proposing a 3-foot pedestrian easement in front of our proposed building that would widen the sidewalk to 5 feet in front of the building. As part of this rounded curb, if you were to include the sidewalks now, the fire department would have 20 feet of width in order for fire truck access. So it was a life safety issue. Really, the most feedback we got from the Mayor's Commission for persons with disabilities, Sarah flagged that the 3-foot sidewalk may need a variance from AAB as it doesn't meet the 4-foot minimum. We've already, I guess you could say we've started that AAB variance process. We spoke with Molly at AAB yesterday. So we will be moving forward to try to obtain a variance from them in order for this project to move forward. So with that, I'll open it up.
Thank you very much. And I will add, just wearing my Chief of Streets hat, that there is a active conversation happening with the abutters on Wichita Terrace, the Boston Transportation Department, the Fire Marshal, and the Office of Neighborhood Services about potentially posting clearer parking restrictions within Wichita Terrace, which currently is sometimes parked in. And so that is also part of that larger effort to ensure that in a final condition that there is good emergency vehicle access here where needed. So with that, commissioners, questions, comments?
Go for it.
Thanks, Amy. Yeah, regarding the variance, I'm glad that you started that process, and we look forward to seeing the final decision before voting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, other questions or comments?
Is the intention here, like there's 2 curb cuts that don't have curb cuts on the opposite side of the street from you guys? Are we just re-curbing them in?
I mean, as of today, yes. So I haven't had a conversation with the owner of that building, to apply for a curb cut. So I guess it would be as is for right now. We haven't had that discussion.
I mean, you're making it better because it's not vertical curving anymore, but they should apply for curb cuts.
Yeah, I'll let him know. I do have his contact info, so I can pass that on.
All right, commissioners, any other questions, comments? PIC staff or members of the public?
No, this has been an interesting and tricky one. So Tim and Ted, I appreciate your working with us on this.
No, thank you as well.
Excellent. All right, will you be ready for your public hearing in 2 weeks on November 20th?
We will.
Excellent. We will see you back here then. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Bye now.
All right, and with that, we have reached the end of our agenda. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much. See you soon.
Thank you.